radio in the kitchen on a sleepy Friday night. Daddy is sitting on the porch, and Mama's at the oven making apple pie. Oh, for the old folks at home. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. Say, oh, brother, how my heart grows weary, far from the old folks at home. Oh, you're listening to Sean of the South. I'm your host tonight, Sean Dietrich, coming to you on a Friday night live broadcast. This episode is brought to you by Case Knives, a tradition of my family dating back to my granddaddy, who once said the best cure for idle hands was to build something. Way down upon the Chattahoochee, far, far away. That's where my heart will always be, down where the old folks stay. Where all the earth is sad and lonely, everywhere I roam. Oh, brother, how my heart could only be with the old folks at home. That music here behind me tonight is Blue Mullet Bluegrass Band. Joe Regan on the fiddle, John Young, Cheryl, Mark Gilbert, and David Thayer on the dobro. Tonight's musical guest is Lady Lou and the Bird Dogs, a wonderful musical group that you're going to love, with Carolina sounds that are going to bless your heart. Also in the studio with us tonight, we got a very special guest, Mother Mary, my mother-in-law, who will soon be celebrating her 80th birthday on a Friday night. Couldn't ask for anything better. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. I say, oh, brother, how my heart grows weary, far from the old folks at home. Also on tonight's episode, we're going to be announcing the winners of a contest we held this week. We asked people on Instagram and Facebook to tell us what things they miss most since the quarantine started. We got so many answers that it almost broke the internet. We're giving away 10 books to the winners. You don't want to miss it. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. I say, oh, brother, how my heart grows weary, far from the old folks at home. I say, oh, sister, how my heart grows weary, far from the old folks at home. All right. That is the state song of Florida. Near and dear to my heart, because we're coming to you on a Friday evening broadcast in the sleepy heart of northwestern Florida, 40 miles from the Alabama line, a place lovingly referred to as L.A. Among the uninitiated, we tell them all the time, we're going to L.A., and they look at you with this funny look. L.A. means Lower Alabama. This part of Florida is this little tiny sliver that used to belong to Alabama, and probably would have belonged to Alabama had history played out just a little bit different. But we are Northwest Florida, and that is our song. Also, you can probably hear outside our studio, because they're always in the trees on a Friday evening, the mockingbirds. This is the state bird of Florida. It was designated in 1927 as the state bird. A lot of people wanted either the blue heron or the great white egret to be the state bird, but the mockingbird won out because, well, you will always win a contest if you can sing pretty, and a mockingbird does exactly that. I'm excited about tonight's show because we had a contest this week wherein we asked a lot of folks what they missed most during the quarantine. I'm sorry. People have been criticizing me lately for saying that word. The quarantine. It's very hard for me to say. I don't know why. I've got this amalgamation of accents from various childhood influences, I guess, and I talk funny. But quarantine, that's what we're going after. You know what else is hard for me to say? That's true. Roy. The word Roy. Yeah, I know. I mean the name, you know. Roy Rogers, R-O-Y. I don't know why. It's hard. Roy. What are we doing? We were giving away 10 books. That's where this contest came from. Ask people what they missed in the quarantine. 10 books. 5 of my book, Will the Circle Be Unbroken? my memoir, and 5 of my books. Stars of Alabama, a fiction novel I wrote about Lower Alabama, L.A. These books, of course, are world-renowned for being excellent fly swatters. Also, they are great paperweights, door stops, and they balance crooked, shaky tables and chairs. They make great all-purpose household items, and to the 10 winners who left the win responses to what they missed most during the quarantine, we are giving away these books. So make sure when you hear your name announced at the end, and I'll read through the comments that we got, the hundreds of comments that we got. Some were beautiful. I brought them in here to the studio. We were laughing, we were crying. When I announce your name, just go ahead and email me. Send me an email, and we'll put that book in the mail to you. And I want to say thank you to everybody who participated. You have made this quarantine a whole lot easier on me, having this wonderful community of people who are nice and just nice. You know, what if we've been looking at life the wrong way all our life? And what if it wasn't supposed to be measured in money and dollars and cents? Or what if life wasn't even supposed to be measured in time? What if it was just measured in niceness? You know? I don't know. I'm no philosopher. I'm really just kind of a run-of-the-mill hick with a severe overbite. If you were to see me, you would say, my God, this guy, well, for one thing, he needs a haircut. And that happens to be something my mother-in-law always says to me. Whenever she sees me, she always says, Lord Almighty, that boy needs a haircut. Well, she'll notice that my hair to skin ratio is a little off, the hair quotient, we call it. Of course, she doesn't say my Lord Almighty or my God or I swear. She uses the word I swanny. I love that. I swanny. That's what all good, wonderfully bred, civilized women with manners would call them belles. What all belles would say, I swanny. These are the same kinds of women who wear pearls and high heels just to go check the mail on a Thursday afternoon. The reason I bring Mother Mary up is because she is sitting right here looking at me. Mother Mary is, and I don't want to give away what you're about to see her do next, but right now I will tell you that she is wearing a green leotard with a frilly dress around her waist, and she has a gold sash draped from one shoulder to the other, and she's wearing sparkly gold shoes, sparkling gold shoes with little bits of metal attached to the toes and the heels. Nobody has been quarantining better than Mother Mary, which is what I've called her for the 17 years that she has been my mother-in-law. You know what I appreciate most about my mother-in-law is that she's nice. That's it. She's never been ugly to me, not once. You know, a lot of families fuss and they fight and they get, ticked off about all sorts of things, but not Mother Mary. She's been quarantining with her live-in assistant, Sandra, and Sandra's daughter, 11-year-old daughter, Giovanna, and they have been just doing what people do during a quarantine, which is just generally go around being bored all day long until you fall down and start having convulsions that are induced by boredom and drown in a puddle of your own drool. Mother Mary, I'm tickled to have you in the studio with us today. I don't even want to know why you so dressed up, so fancy-dancy. We got something very special happen on May the 24th. Can you tell everybody how old you're going to be on May the 24th?
80 years young.
80 years young. 80 years young. Well, I know I speak for myself and for everybody else who's listening out there tonight. 80 years is very young, and it gets younger every year. I'm so tickled you're here. I'm real tickled to see you in them fancy clothes because you're going to tap dance for us here tonight to a special song we wrote for the quarantine, in honor of the quarantine and in honor of the people who are going through the quarantine. I was amazed that you offered to do this, being that you're almost 80 years old. Can you tell everybody out there listening When was the last time that you put on them shoes and tap danced?
6th grade. I guess it's 6th grade. I graduated in 54, 58. So it was tap dancing, not too good though.
I understood you did this on television once. Is that true?
Yeah. I did What's Behind the Green Door. My dancing teacher had me go down and do it. And I had to wear a costume and everything.
Where was that?
Pensacola to a TV station.
Oh, my goodness. I guess I just have one question left. Are you ready for a bona fide workout today?
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting a long time.
Well, I know I speak for everybody else when I say I have too. I guess, Maestro, if you please. All right, everybody ready? Everybody ready? Band ready? Mother Mary? I understand it's very important to loosen up your hips. So. In the olden days, before the quarantine, everybody did something, yes, it's true. Back when we had stuff to do. Now all we do is stay inside all day, eating this and that, and processed food. And my waist is huge. I'm tired of Chinese takeout. I'm tired of grilling steaks out. I'm sick of getting my rake out. Lord, I'm fixing to go break out. The quarantine has made me crazy. Now I'm just fat and lazy, but that's how it goes. Mother Mary, won't you tap your toes? Well, I guess you learned that in New Orleans somehow. Look at that woman go. Give her some room. Give her some room. I'm tired of grilling steaks out. I'm sick of getting that rake out. I don't want no Chinese takeout. I am fixing to go break out. This quarantine has made me crazy, and now I'm just fat and lazy, but that's how it goes. Mother Mary, tap your toes. Oh yeah, Mother Mary. Mother Mary, everybody, Mother Mary. Tapping her toes to beat the band, literally. Thank you, Mother Mary. Thank you, Mother Mary. Well, tonight's episode is lovingly brought to you by Midnight Shift Brand Coffee. Midnight Shift Coffee, the official coffee of the Pensacola Police Department. A buck from every bag you buy goes to help fight childhood cancer to the Riley Foundation for fighting pediatric cancer. Go visit midnightshiftcoffee.com, and there you can find the kind of coffee that will change your life and make you see blue. Also brought to you by Folklore Brewing and Meadery, quite literally the best brew in Alabama. They got the awards to prove it. FolkloreBrewingandMeadery.com, and visit North Alabama or hashtag visit North AL. Visit the 16 North Alabama counties that make this state just above Florida what it is. We're going to have a tune here from a good group of folks to celebrate our quarantine celebration, if you can celebrate the celebration. If I can use that double word here. We're going to hear from Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs. Did I say the band name right?
Yes, that is correct.
I got to know, because I love band names, because band names are one of those things that once you pick the name, the band breaks up. Tell me, how'd you come by that name?
My nickname when I was younger was Laney or Laney Lou, and our bandmate Matt kind of got a hold of that information, so that sort of started the name. And our bandmate Ethan has a black lab who loves his little stuffed duck, and he is not an actual bird dog. He would never be good at that, but we kind of thought it was a fitting name to have Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs. So
does he actually chase that duck though?
He does, but he does not retrieve it.
And what is the name of that? What is the name of that Labrador?
His name is Waylon.
Well, my goodness, it doesn't get any better than that name, I guess. Unless you called him Willie or something. All right, well, tell us, what are you going to play for us here?
Well, we'll start with the song Carolina, which was written by our fiddle player, Brian Cassay, who has never actually been to North Carolina. But I myself grew up in Western North Carolina, so he wrote it on my behalf.
All right, Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs.
Well, there's not much money in this bank account that I can spend. It's a cold road coming and I don't know if I can make it. Well, there's not much left to do. Pack my bags and leave for you, old Carolina. Where you want me to roam, Carolina. I don't know if I can go. Does the rock reach the bottom? Does the rolling stone ever forget? Horizons divide us and rises east to the west. Never thought I'd miss the snow. Oh, Montana, here I come from Carolina. Where you want me to roam, Carolina. Where you want me to go? Are you right or are you wrong? There's no reason we can't go to Carolina. I don't know if I can go. Lonely hearts don't lie. Country roads they wind. Losing track of time. You're always on my mind. Carolina. Where you want me to roam, Carolina. Where you want me to go? Are you right or are you wrong? There's no reason we can't go to Carolina. I don't know if I can go.
All right, Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs bringing you wonderful music on a sleepy Friday night. Let me ask y'all this. Where, if people were going to, interested in buying your stuff and making you very rich people, where would they go to make you very rich people?
You can go to any of the online streaming sites, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and all that. You can also go to our website, which is thebird-dogs.com. And even if you just type in our band name into Google, it'll find the website for you. And we have some videos up there. We've got videos and all of that stuff on social media as well. But yeah, you can order our album online. We just started an online merch store. So if you have bird dogs at home or love labs, we've got some logos up on our merch that are hand-drawn by our banjo player. And you can have a t-shirt or album or whatever.
All right. Well, tell me now, I understand that this band, as far as the formation of y'all goes, is a little bit unique in that you formed from putting an ad out on Craigslist. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
And were you scared at all for...
Yeah, it could have gone a completely different way by me answering the ad. I had like a safety word to text my roommate when I went out to the trailer park to meet Matt. And everything went fine, though. Matt and I became really good friends right away. And his brother Ethan moved back into town and he became our bass player. I had met our fiddle player through Craigslist a couple years earlier. And Josh and I have been friends since we both moved to Montana like 8 years ago. And we played music just for fun together, like with other friends. And we added Josh to the band about 3 years ago. Band's been together for 6. And we needed another guitarist and soloist. And Josh also writes songs and sings. And so it kind of ended up being a great fit.
Kind of worked out. All right. Well, Josh Moore, Lane Schiffer from Lady Lou and the Bird Dogs doing their thing here in the studio tonight. Look them up. You're not going to regret listening to this album they put out, Sweet Little Lies. Download it today. It's a great mix of bluegrass and various influences. How did you come by the name Sweet Little Lies?
Well, the song Sweet Little Lies, that's the title track, sort of has the sweet and the dark side of things, like the telling someone sweet little lies, you know, just to get through something. Sort of has that juxtaposition in the name, and we kind of realized when we were...
That's a $5 word we're using on the show here today. Juxtaposition, $5. Sean of the South, everybody.
Well, we were trying to figure out what all of the songs had in common that were going on the album, and if we could find sort of a common thread between all of them. And we realized that most of the songs are about either like the sweetness of love, or like the sweetness that was once there, or it's about the darkness of death, or like a breakup song or something that has that sort of heavier feel. And so we thought the name Sweet Little Lies kind of reflected that feeling of all the songs.
And who wrote Sweet Little Lies?
I wrote Sweet Little Lies.
All right. Well, then you're the perfect person to kick this thing off. Lady Lou and the Bird Dogs, Sweet Little Lies.
Let it all sing. Rather be blind than unable to see the lies that you told me through your teeth. Told me sweet little lies. When you told me sweet little lies. Told me more lies than there's stars in the sky. Told me sweet little lies. Trade a broken hand for legs that can stand. Trade it for the chance to be an honest man. Always been a fighter, stumbling in the ring. It's a long way to fall the further you swing. Told me sweet little lies. When you told me sweet little lies. Told me more lies than there's stars in the sky. Told me sweet little lies. That I would be the one to walk away. With each little story you dug yourself a grave. You made a mark on my foolish pride. But I'd rather be lonesome than walk a crooked line. When you told me sweet little lie, when you told me sweet little lie, told me more lies than there's stars in the sky. Told me sweet little lie, told me more lies than there's stars in the sky. Told me sweet little lies.
Well, you are listening to Shaun of the South on a sleepy Friday night, coming to you on a nice, easy Friday night. It's even raining outside. Just a nice, wonderful little drizzle. Might even be able to hear it. Might set your mind at ease. Just know that it's preventing us from getting attacked and killed by the yellow flies and the mosquitoes, which are about the size of Shetland ponies. And the yellow flies, when they bite you, they will make your body parts swell up to bigger than a Michelin tire. So watch out for the yellow flies. Speaking of yellow flies and Florida, we had a lot of comments on an Instagram and Facebook post we posted this week, asking people to tell us what they miss most during the quarantine due to the COVID and coronavirus. We had so many responses, it was overwhelming. I am going to read you a few from Instagram. We chose 10 winners, which I'm about to announce, so get out your pen and paper. I'm going to read a few, and then I'm going to announce the winners. And then don't worry, I'll read a whole lot more comments that we got. I promise. You're going to hear so many comments, they're going to be coming out your nose by the time we're finished with this on what people miss most during this coronavirus quarantine. Julia Perry Sullivan writes, I miss Saturday morning visits with Gwen and giving her great big hugs. Joanne Mowry writes, although I'm an essential worker, I'm a nurse, and I'm not in quarantine, I miss my morning hellos from my neighbors. My neighbors on both sides of my apartment are older, and they sit outside in the mornings and they drink their coffee, but lately they've been staying inside. It's the little things. Jeanette Drew writes, toilet paper. I miss toilet paper and seeing people's whole faces without a mask. Uper Berge writes, I miss hugs. Hearts Gone South writes, playing music in front of live audiences. Anna M. Mayalday, that's a hard one. I miss people. Being able to go out freely. I want to take my little guy into Target and buy him a toy or take him to the zoo. MSH1977 writes, I miss going to Mexican restaurants with my wife and we have a pattern. We travel. We know the menus by heart. And I would add to that, I miss queso dip. Juju B 1969 writes, I miss church potlucks. Good and holy Lord, Juju B. So do I. Malia Hames writes, I miss sports and going to church, but I'm fine with working from home though. Jenny Loves Charlie writes, walking through gardens with my friends year-round. We visit other gardens for a good long walk and talk, and I haven't had a friend visit in months. Laurie B. Ishton says, playing with my grandchildren. And Fowler writes, I miss spontaneity. Drafts on Drought writes, I miss hugging my mom. M.L. Banks 10 writes, I feel like I'm going into week 7 of the hostage situation. But most days my golden retriever keeps me pretty good company. Becky Inspired Art writes, I miss my son and the beach. Carrie Graham writes, I miss church huggers. Oh, that's a good one. Brandon Babineau Photography writes, haircuts Heart of Dixie, 1992, writes, like you, Sean, my husband misses the Braves baseball very, very much, but he is not missing meals. And there's a laughing face with that one. Amy Patterson, I miss seeing my mother-in-law. We did visit the nursing home today and sat on the porch and could see her through the window. I also miss my mom and stepdad. They're in Birmingham because he had a double lung transplant in February. I can't wait to hug them again. Among all the comments that I have read, the most common thing that I did come across is, no surprise, grandchildren, children, and family. It's funny how often people wrote family, especially when the family we have is all we have sometimes. So I hope everybody out here finally gets to see their family in one form or fashion soon, because God knows family is everything. All right, let's have a little bit of a drama here, because I'm going to announce these winners. I'm going to announce the winners. Starting with Facebook. Giving away 5 books on Facebook. The 5 books I'm giving away on Facebook are Stars of Alabama, a book I wrote, a novel, a fiction book based in the 1930s Depression and Dust Bowl era of the United States. Here we go. Winner number 1, Marcia West. Winner number 2, Ruth Lacey Boswell. Winner number 3, Cheryl Ratcliffe. Winner number 4, David Barnett. And winner number 5, Steve Winfield. And now the winners from Instagram. I'm just going to read their usernames because I don't know their real names like you do on Facebook. Instagram winners are, of the book Will the Circle Be Unbroken, a memoir of learning you're going to be okay, written by the guy whose annoying voice is saying this right now. Instagram winners are JT Savannah. Winner number 2, Mustard Seed Lady. What a name. Winner number 3, Coop01. Coop01. I feel like I'm calling bingo numbers here. Winner number 4, Alabama Black Belt, who writes, I miss NASCAR. And winner number 5, J.W. Crimson. Crimson, I'm hoping, means the Crimson Tide, and that's a Roll Tide. To the Instagram and Facebook winners, thank you for playing. Please email me, and I will make sure you get a book in the mail post haste. Send your emails to SeanOfTheSouthShow.com. There you can find archived episodes dating back all the way to our first episode, all the way to this episode, which I don't know why you're listening to. You must have terrible taste in podcasts. But I want to thank you for listening to it, because you might not know it, but you have changed my entire life by being nice to me. That's it. You've changed my life. And I guess right now I'd like to, well, how about just a little bit of rain music? What do you say to that? A little bit of rain music. Well, you are listening to Sean of the South, and I am Sean Dietrich, coming to you live on a Friday night, a sleepy Floridian Friday night. And I just want to say that in this time of quarantine, some of the folks getting hit the worst are the musicians and the entertainers. I can speak from experience on this because I am loosely what you call an entertainer. My wife and I spend 90% of our year on the road doing live shows, or at least we did until this quarantine coronavirus pandemic hit. And now we have been landlocked for, I believe, 43 or 45 days. One of them numbers is probably the right one. And, well, it's a different world. And it's that way for all musicians. But it's not just them who are suffering. It's you. You're suffering. You can't hug your family members if you're stuck inside and your family members are stuck inside at another place down the road. You can't do nothing out in public. Can't go out to eat. Can't go to live events to see a movie or concert. Can't do anything fun, it seems like. But you have been creative. You have been so creative. And I dedicate this episode to you. We put out there on Instagram and Facebook this week that we were giving away 10 free books written by me. These books make incredible multi-purpose household tools. You can put them in the freezer and let them get real cold like bricks, and then use them to keep your cooler cold. Or you can use them to level wobbly couches and tables. They make great fly swatters. You can use them to scrape pollen dust off your windshield. 10 free books, one book, 5 of one kind, 5 of another kind. One book is Will the Circle Be Unbroken? A Memoir of Learning You're Going to Be Okay. I love that title. That's my newest book, and the next book we're giving away is Stars of Alabama, a novel I wrote about the Great Depression era and Dust Bowl era in the Deep South, which is my home. We put this out there on Instagram and Facebook, said, tell us what you miss most since the quarantine started. What do you miss most from the pre-quarantine days? And we got so many responses that it just overwhelmed me. My wife and I sat up one night reading responses to each other. She'd read one, I'd read the other. She would read one, I'd read the other. And we started to cry a little bit. This is a different time we live in. One that I would never believed would ever happen, really. You grow up and you hear stories about the 1918 pandemic of the Spanish flu. The influenza swept over the nation. People in Chicago were tying white scarves over their doors to signify to the rest of the world, to the milkmen and the delivery men and the neighbors, that they were infected and not to come by there. And if that white scarf stayed on the door handle too long, they sent the undertaker over there. You hear stories like that. You hear about the Seattle trolley car driver in 1918 who was making and passing out face masks to help people and prevent infections. He'd pass them out to the passengers who got on his trolley car. You hear about the chaplains from 1918 out in Arizona and New Mexico who helped the Native Americans when there was an outbreak among the Native Americans, and these children were dying, and these chaplains were from another world, from the East Coast, who were not prepared, not physically, emotionally, or probably spiritually, to deal with the deaths of children. And we have correspondence from them that we've saved in historical archives that just break your heart. That's 1918. You never expect that you're going to go through something like that. And I find that is the way with all tragedy. The most tragic moment of my life was my father took his own life when I was a 12-year-old. And the thing that is always swimming through your head when you go through the worst period of your life is, I never thought it would happen to me. Cancer patients say this. People who lose loved ones to horrific accidents say this. People who have a bad turn of events that do not work out in their favor end up saying this, and here I am saying the same thing. Well, we have dedicated this episode to you, to all those who are going through, and those who are suffering, and those who are living it up and finding ways to enjoy this awkward time. And now a few comments from friends and family on Facebook and Instagram. Sean, I miss my 7-year-old Charlie, taking him to visit my parents as Nanny and Papa. He's an only child, only grandchild. My mama has been battling multiple myeloma. For 12 years, she's had 2 bone marrow transplants. We just can't risk seeing her because of the immune system that she's got. So we settle for Skype calls every night to tell knock-knock jokes. Here's one Charlie made up. Knock, knock. Who's there? Banana. Banana who? Sink the toilet, I flushed a banana. Well, Sean, you might not think much of that joke, but he got a standing ovation from Nanny and Papa for that one. Case Robin Fowler. To tell you the truth, Sean, I don't miss anything. We're having a great time. Fishing, family games, a new chicken coop. We are making memories at the Fowler house. Cheryl Ratcliffe. Today my husband wanted to cook some mustard greens, so he asked me how to cook them. Well, I don't eat them, so my first instinct was to call my mama and ask her how. But 2 weeks ago, last Wednesday, my mama was admitted to the hospital, and the next day, she was gone from COVID-19. Sean, I will forever miss calling her to ask how to cook something. Cherish your mama and ask her everything. Don't wait until tomorrow. You'll even miss the annoying phone calls, I promise. I missed hugging my 2 sisters, my 2 sons, my 2 nieces at her funeral, where only 10 of us could even attend. As we stood wearing masks at her graveside, I thought to myself, I do have faith that life will get better. Sean, I believe we have to focus on the good things and on helping other people. Linda Bagwell. I miss the old me that didn't hesitate to go outside my home. My freedom to go out and do whatever I needed or whatever I wanted. It's all been replaced by fear and anxiety. Laura Carroll Scripps. Sean, I miss being able to escape. Now, I know some wish they had more work on their hands, but we've been working around the clock daily at our community newspaper with a staff of 4. I just long for camping in the woods. Into the forest I go to lose myself and my soul. Lori Harvison Basham. I miss little freedoms that I didn't fully appreciate before COVID-19. Little freedoms like, hey y'all, let's go sit in Dairy Queen and eat a blizzard. Heather Ty. I know there are so many things out there to miss, but I'm more grateful now than I thought I ever would be. This time has settled our family down. This time has kind of reconnected us. This time has made us realize that we can't take each other or any of our daily routines for granted. It isn't what I'm missing now. It is what I have been missing all along that has been restored. Barbara Dove. I miss seeing my hair clients at the Assisted Independent Living Facility. I'm a hairstylist, and I know these ladies look forward to me doing their hair every single week. Well, that might not sound like much, but I know that God has given me my ministry behind the chair. Rocky Bowers Para. I miss sharing the sign of peace during Mass, a Catholic Mass. No matter where in the world I've celebrated Mass, from Florida to New York to Spain to Italy, that part of Mass, the sign of peace, yields for the human opportunity for connection, either with a family member or with a perfect stranger. And I miss that. Vivian Tollison Walters. I'm a people watcher, and I miss people. I love guessing people's stories, but I adore hearing them tell me their story most. No wonder I look forward to your observations and first-hand accounts of your stories that you pass on to your readers. Vivian, you are too kind to me. Camille Fernari. I miss my office and my co-workers. You know, it's rare to work in a cubicle in an insurance business and really love going to work, but my co-workers are amazing. Funny, caring, and so supportive. We have a team meeting daily and a virtual Halloween party, and we had lunch last week. I realize how blessed I am to be able to work from home. My heart breaks for everyone struggling. I feel almost silly saying this, but I do miss my team. Debbie Atkinson Harwood. Sean, I miss doing volunteer work, helping others face to face. I miss my family and my friends. I miss listening to others cry and sharing our lives to each other. I miss not being afraid of unseen germs. I miss sharing and experiencing joy with other people. Ricky Stanfield. I miss bluegrass festivals. Cheryl Weeks. I miss seeing everybody's smiles. Donna Bourne Phillips. We were looking so forward to opening day of Huntsville, Alabama's new baseball team. But most of all, we were going to go see the Monkees today, the band. Oh, I was in their fan club in 1967 with only 2 of them left. Time is not on my side for getting many more chances to see them. Kathy Sheldon Bowers. Sean, I miss the fantasy that if I only had more unstructured time, like I used to tell myself, I would get more projects done. Well, never gonna happen. Somewhere along the line, I guess I've just become old. Ruth Lacey Boswell. I miss optimism. So many people are thinking, what is wrong? Instead of, what is right? Dawn Foster Strickland. You know, I miss wandering aimlessly through Target, wishing I had room for all the things, with a grande white mocha in my hand, while trying to tell Miss Alabama that she cannot have another playhouse. Oh yeah, and I also miss walking through Publix any which way I want. I about walked a marathon the other day just trying to circle back for things that I forgot. Steve Winfield. I miss heavy traffic on I-65. Not. Leisha Grayson Carr. Being able to hear. I realized I've been reading lips more than I ever thought because I can't hear what people are saying with their mask on. Bentley Nelson Martin. I miss watching Stone play baseball, especially since it's his senior year. Oh yeah, and I miss my cousin Sean Dietrich. Cousin Bentley, I miss you too. Marilyn Carr Warner. I miss my Braves. Marilyn, I miss them too. Go Braves. Jerry Harper. I think most of all I miss my Sunday morning hugs. I miss seeing all the dear faces and singing along with the choir. And oh, how I miss potlucks. Teresa Debro. I miss being around other people. My co-workers, my parents, my friends, my extended family, my church members, my favorite server at the restaurant down the street. Isn't it funny how we take relationships, both meaningful and seemingly insignificant, for granted? Allison Velez. I miss my husband. He's overseas and he's supposed to be coming home this week, but now I'm not sure when I'll ever see him. Christy Allen. I am a nurse. I miss the ability to touch a patient without 3 layers between us. You might not know this, Sean, but there's nothing like the healing touch I also miss the ability to look through my glasses without them being all fogged up. But then again, masks are a necessary evil right now. Stephanie Godke. I miss having a casual stroll through a small town grocery store and hugging every single person in the store like I'm their cousin. Stephanie, we might be related. Gloria Hazel. I miss movie theaters and the smell of popcorn and the darkness of the theater and picking the seat exactly in the middle. The middle. You know what I'm talking about? The screen comes alive even with 20 minutes of trailers, and nothing is better than a Hollywood movie. Well, what a way to spend my morning before my evening shift at dispatch. It's just something that I love, something that I miss most during this time. You know, when you work shift work, you work 365, 24/7, Sean. You miss the family get-togethers. You miss the holidays. You miss all these things already. So my treat to myself, the thing I miss the most, is the movie theater. Christy Schultz Jacobs. I miss enjoying a good sit-down meal in a restaurant. Now, I love to cook, but I've cooked every single day for 40 days now. I want someone else to cook for me. And here's the most important part. I want someone else to do the dang dishes. Amanda Kuick Britt. I miss the simplicity of buying toilet paper. Now I have to put out an APB bulletin on our community page to find the last roll in our area. Every time I want to buy toilet paper, I have to go on a TP hunt. I miss the days when the shelves were always full. Carla Michelle Webb Howard. I'm going to be blatantly honest, Sean. I miss earning my income. I was asked to volunteer for furlough. I didn't hesitate thinking with this stimulus and unemployment, be paid on vacation of sorts. I'd have plenty of time to start my garden and get a lot of projects completed. Well, the garden has been planted a full month, and we hadn't received our stimulus check yet, so I miss paying my bills. Nancy C. Butler. I think I miss most of all, Sean, that giggly butterfly wing feeling of knowing that there's an adventure out there waiting to start. Right now, I'm too afraid to dream too far ahead for fear of cancellation. Lori Ellis Parlier. I miss my students. I have been away from them since February 28th. A tornado hit our community, Mount Juliet, Tennessee. We didn't have any chance to say goodbye, and it breaks my heart. I love them so much, my students. Sure, we do Zoom meetings, but not many are logging on. So, I worry about them. Marcia Briggs. I miss thrifting. Oh, the Goodwill, the Salvation Army, any thrift store will do. I love the thrill of finding something that reminds me of my grandmother's house or even my childhood home. Stacy Latham Hurst. I miss the public library. I actually went so often, the library sent me a handwritten note during the quarantine saying that they missed me and hoped I was well. And I know there are plenty of ways to read otherwise, but there's just something about holding a book that makes the story all the better. Marlene McLeod McCulley. I miss watching my son play high school baseball and watching my husband coach baseball. I miss big Sunday dinners at my mama's house and walking on our beautiful beaches. I miss just being able to hug a friend. Just anybody that I see out and about, I would give them hugs. I miss our normal way of life. Pam Hammer Holt. I miss my son. He has special needs and his group home is on lockdown. And even though I know it's best for him, It's hard not to see him or hug him. Marshall Wygren. I miss my hubby. Ben had a stroke in 2018, and now he lives in an adult family home about 30 minutes away. Sure, at least I know he's well cared for. Because of his Alzheimer's, he doesn't realize how much time has passed since our last visit, but I miss my hubby Ben. Shayna Marie. I miss my co-workers at the restaurant where I worked. See, we all lost our jobs due to COVID-19, but they were my people, our little family. We always had fun, we always laughed, and no matter what kind of crazy dinner time rush brought, we always laughed. I miss giving my customers my all and hoping that it's their best experience that they could possibly have at a restaurant. I miss seeing smiling faces at weekly friends dinners with families who are restaurant regulars with little ones, and watching them grow week by week, birthday party by birthday party, where the guest of honor can't quit smiling at customers and couples on date nights that might be the first time in their 500 years of marriage. I also miss dining at restaurants with family and friends and eating so much chips and queso dip that I make myself sick. Marsha West. I miss the routine of spending time in my car. I miss having deep conversations with my 17-year-old. He's just finishing his first year at college, and those in-the-car conversations were the best, because we were both captive in that little space with few distractions. Judy Brandt. As a nursing home nurse, I miss the vow that we took that no one dies alone. When so many died once, with no one allowed in except staff, I could no longer keep that vow. Annie Harville. I miss Auburn baseball with my dad every weekend and the rest of my baseball family. I love Auburn, but truthfully I just miss time with my dad. It doesn't even have to be baseball. Sandy Culpepper. I miss seeing people out and about at the stores. My daughter and I always wear Star Wars or Harry Potter themed clothing, and it's a great conversation starter no matter what your age. People do love to talk about what they like. After you find out all kinds of interesting things, after you just find out that you both like Star Wars, you find out you have other things in common too. Anna Oz. I miss the gentle hum of conversation, spoons in coffee cups, music tugging at my earlobes, too soft to identify. I miss being able to make eye contact with other people as we wander shops on similar but vastly dissimilar missions. I miss taking the bus. I miss days out with my 2-year-old, our mom and daughter dates, and being able to run off her energy. Mike Morton Brayton. I miss my students. I had recess duty. I miss all the dandelions and other found treasures that they would bring and share with me during recess. Audrey Lionel Looney. I miss having a house full of kids. My 4 are always bringing home extras, running back and forth from kitchen to creek, or giggling through the night. My little tribe is really missing our quote-unquote other kids. Leanne Marie Thompson. I miss actually going to church in person. I like being able to watch it online, but dogs and cats are a real distraction. Sherry Dennis Fisher. Most of all, Sean, I miss picking up my grandson and granddaughter. I don't care about shopping. I don't care about going to the beauty salon. I just miss those little tiny arms around my neck. Catherine Boswell. I miss going out after work and meeting friends for a cold adult beverage and watching the sunset over the bayou. David Barnett. The ability to distract myself, Sean. I miss that. Mainly the ability to distract myself on weekends from how empty the house has been since my wife changed her address to heaven. Bill Islands. Sean, I miss singing with other people while sitting in a pew. There's nothing more lovely than the sound of untrained voices singing a hymn like leaning on the everlasting arms. What have I to dread? What have I to fear? Leaning on the everlasting arms, I have blessed peace with my Lord so near. Leaning on the everlasting arms, sing with me. Leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Everybody next to it. Leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, what a fellowship, what a joy divine. Leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine. Leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning, leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning, leaning on the everlasting arms. Well, thank you for tuning in tonight to Shaun of the South. It's been a true pleasure coming to you live via the podcast airwaves and radio waves all over this nation. This episode is brought to you by Case Knives, a tradition in my family, and by WNC Original Music. Ron Taylor, my buddy, curates the music for this podcast every single week. I want to say thank you to Lane Lou and the Bird Dogs and to Mother Mary for wowing us with her tap dance skills. Thank you to everybody who responded or left a comment or a message or an email or sent a handwritten letter on Instagram, Facebook, snail mail, Facebook Messenger, or any other platform you can think of. You have no idea how much it means to be able to hear from you. It means everything. Thank you to Aaron Peters for playing fiddle on Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, to Blue Mullet Bluegrass Band for playing behind me tonight. Thank you to our audio engineers. Thank you to Jake Dillard, Josh Shepard, and everybody else who makes this show possible. We're going to kick one off here to say goodbye to you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Went way down upon the Swanee River, far, far from home. That that's where my heart is turning ever down with the old folks at home. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. Oh, brother, how my heart grows weary far from the old folks at home. Well, all up and down the whole creation, sadly I roam. Still longing for that old plantation down for the old folks at home. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. Oh, brother, how my heart grows weary far from the old folks at home. There's a radio in the kitchen on a sleepy Friday night, and Daddy is sitting on the porch, and Mama's at the oven just making apple pie. Oh, for the old folks at home. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. I love to hear Florida rainy night down for my old folks at home. Come on now. Oh, the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. Oh, brother, how my heart grows weary far from the old folks at home. I say, oh, brother, how my heart grows weary far from the old folks at home. Have a great week.